Next up.
Hey, there's another House of the Best Kept Secrets coming up. They've got a lot of fighters on this one.
Yeah, I knew they were coming in
And again,
force on this one. Guillermo's been talking about it. And in the red corner, though, we have Avery Whitten here stepped into the ring. Avery's training under Owen Hylton.
Definitely, Avery's, just looking at him, he's tall, lanky. Think he'd have some good jabs, but, you can't always judge a fighter just by looking at him.
I don't know. I'd be pretty shocked if he looked like Joe Frazier. Came out there fighting like Joe Frazier.
I mean, solid point. I've been shocked before. You never know.
I'll tell you what, we're in a sport that there's a lot of shocks.
Yeah.
Lucas Spalding has joined us tonight. Lucas is a great boxer. He's got a win over Lionel James, who we'll see later tonight.
Interesting. Yeah. Being a taller fighter myself, and that's why I brought it up, is Avery really needs to work that jab, and maybe for the first time tonight we'll actually see somebody go backwards. A lot of times taller fighters will pump that jab, work backwards, make the shorter fighter work his way inside, make him pay to work on the inside, make him earn it. So let's see if that's the strategy here of young Avery.
You've been waiting for the opportunity all night to brag about how tall you are, and you finally got it.
I've been waiting, and here it is. Oh. Whew. Karol's coming out like a buzzsaw here. There we go. But Avery's starting to measure him. Just working that jab. But the flurry of punches from Karol is just overwhelming the jab right now. And it's an interesting strategy, just to keep him moving. See, look, great punch off the clinch there. That's what I think we were missing in that last fight. Again, and somebody should just make him pay for just putting hands up.
See Avery not utilizing that reach that he's got so far.
Yeah, well, and I would give the edge to Karol, but he's not letting him. He's staying in his face, and basically what Avery have to do is get on his horse and just pedal right now, and he's just not doing it.
He's got to get on his bike a little bit.
See, he's flat-footed. Now he's against the rope, so he can't move, so he's just getting eaten up right here. And this, unfortunately, is what happens to taller fighters a lot. If you can't make the distance, like we said earlier. Again, messing with the hit gear, which is a common thing in these amateur fights.
You see, he tries to stick that jab, and Morales is already inside. He's not giving him the chance to work that range at all.
And he's also staying on. I mean, this is a poor strategy by Avery here by staying on the ropes where he can't run away.
A huge shot by Morales.
Yeah, so if he makes it to the next round, and we've got 30 seconds, he needs to get off these ropes. He needs to move. He needs to become a tall fighter. Right now, he's fighting right into Karol.
Push him.
Yes.
Push him away. Get out of there. Like, I know it's not USA boxing, that's frowned upon, but you cannot sit there in the corner.
You got to do something. That was a rough round for him to see if they make any adjustments.
Those are the worst knockouts you see, guys getting caught on the ropes.
Well, and as you saw there, as he was getting hit more and more, the straighter his chin got, the more his head started getting up in the air, and that's when you see those vicious knockouts.
You see great boxers who can use the ropes. Mayweather, Ali, Tyson Fury's great at it, but he's not utilizing that at all.
No, he definitely looks like a guy that's used to working the jab, and he's not being able to work it right now because of good strategy by Karol there.
You got to think, though, this kid's 15 years old.
Absolutely, yeah.
You wonder, like his training partners, it's hard to find kids with that level of skill.
Yes.
When you're not competing. So
Well,
that's what USA
absolutely.
Boxing's for. You go out, you are able to actually compete against kids that have got the same level of skill as you. Like, that's where you're testing yourself. You're learning while you're fighting.
Absolutely. Let's see if this round's a lot of the same, meaning, flurry of punches from Karol and Avery trying to work the jab.
This is where Avery needs to be. He needs to stop backing up.
Yeah.
He's got to start moving side to side, not backwards.
Yeah, see, he landed the jab. The difference is I wouldn't even say that Karol ducked the jab. He just walked right through it and started throwing some punches there. Let's see if it does the same. So there's the jab. He just ducks right under, and he's right there.
Hit him with something, make him respect his power a little bit.
And that's what I was leading to. He's thrown the jab, but have you seen even a straight right other than the jab? I have not.
Oh, big left hook from Morales.
Yeah,
And it was just a lunging left hook.
Those are behind the head. I'm sure surprised. There we go. We're talking about it. Just unfortunately not seeing a lot from Avery here. So his coaches are to Avery to throw an uppercut here, but he's thrown nothing but the jab so far. There's
Morales
the
is
uppercut.
definitely bullying him a little bit here.
He is. You can tell that he's not going to sit down on any of his power punches, so there's nothing to respect, right? He just walks right through the jab and just has his way with him. Look at that. He's not doing much, unfortunately. I think Avery may be shell-shocked here. I don't know if he knows what to do.
I know that big lunging left hook was a hard shot, and there's been a couple of hard shots he's eaten in this fight.
So here comes Avery, I'm sure. See, even just pushing the jab. He's not even snapping that jab on. That's his only punch,
He's
right
a big
there.
fighter as well.
Yeah.
When you're in a fight like this and a guy's just overwhelming you, it's easy to break a little bit.
Yeah.
And just to freeze, not know what to do. I've seen, especially when you're young.
Absolutely. And I don't know, if Avery's going to have the answer for number 3. I just don't know if I see it changing, if it's in him quite yet. Because he's in a fight.
Giving him good advice, though, in the corner. He's telling him to work the uppercut, which I think is a very smart idea.
It is. Well, quite frankly, and I don't mean it in a disparaging way, I mean, anything but the jab right now would be helpful. Anything, quite frankly.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen him throw a single hook.
No, and then when we
very few straight rights.
Yeah, even when we saw them, they've been very lackluster. That's all right. Again, we don't know what's going through his mind here. He's getting a little overwhelmed. And I see round 3. Morales is coming up.
Well, I think part of that's an age thing too, though. He's 15, and you can tell he's probably just hit a pretty big growth spurt. He's a lot taller than most guys his age, but he's not thick yet. I think in a couple of years, that kid's going to be a different guy physically.
So that's another good point, Elijah. Speaking as a tall person again myself, here's the problem is you don't grow into that, but people don't get it. When you're tall, lanky, awkward. Sometimes, not until you're 18, 19 do you know how to use that body that you're given. And I know that wouldn't make sense to a lot of people, but that's why you see a lot of these taller guys aren't able to do the things you think they would be able to do just because they have to kind of learn how to be in that body.
Well, you compare this to an adult fight. Look at Stefan Struve. He'd be a good example. He was always very awkward just because of his size. He never learned to stick that jab.
Yeah.
There's detriments to it as well, but I think Avery is going to be a different fighter just in a short amount of time.
Yes.
He's got all the tools.
He does.
He has every physical tool you need to make a good boxer.
Yeah, the difference right now is just aggression, and he's just not changing his game plan,
to sit
right?
down on his punches, throw with actual power, and he's going to have power. If he gets on the end of that long straight right, it's going to be able to knock people out. But right now, we're just seeing he's young. He's not seasoned enough yet.
No, when the safest place for a shorter fighter to be is right next to the guy, right? That's why he doesn't want to be at the end of the punches, and that's why Morales is doing a great job. He's working his way in, and he's not done it or not stopped doing it for 3 rounds. He's done a great job. He's dominated this fight.
And here we see in the last 10 seconds, it's looking like Morales has absolutely put on a clinic here about how to fight on the inside against the taller man.
Yeah. Good learning experience for both of them.
I think he'll try to talk to the winner of this one, Mr. Morales. Probably. I shouldn't say that. We've seen crazy things happen, but by all rights, I think Morales took this one. Beautiful performance from him.
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to have, let's let him get to the decision here. Again, no surprises there. Morales he had the heck of a pace there. He did the things that he needed to do as a shorter fighter, and he really put it on. It's a great display of skill by Morales there. And